Hey guys, so welcome to another video. So I'm thinking to share with you guys a few of the books that I've been loving, and they are related to technology. And even though if you do not have any background, you do not want to go into too much of a technical, I think these books will be for you. So let's get started. So the first book is called AI 2041, 10 Visions for Our Future. So this is actually a very easy to read book. It's got 10 stories, which is actually about how AI is really going to be adopted in the future. So we've been hearing this term for a while already. So AI, everyone talks about like whether it will replace humans, etc. So I like that this book is because it actually, after each of the small stories, it actually kind of analyzes the scenario that AI is being adopted, and also the pros and cons for each of the story. So I think it's really good because not everyone actually knows how much we can leverage AI, and all these stories actually is going to the kind of extreme of we are trying to imagine the world in the future where we are really fully leveraging AI. So how would that look like? So I think it's quite astonishing actually, some of the stories, but then at the same time it's really telling you about how it's really going to work in the future, and you might actually have some of the takeaway actually after each story. So really good for you if you're interested in the concept and how it's going to impact us as a whole human in the future. It may actually lead you to think more about how much you want to learn about AI. Really recommend this book to every one of you. So the second book is called Inspired. So this is a book for product managers, but then I think is for anyone who is interested in the product management life cycle or interested in how a product is being created. So why I actually picked this book before is actually now I'm working in a startup environment. I'm kind of interested in knowing how the product management is gonna work. Maybe it's different in different companies, but then I think the principles laid down in this book is really thorough and cover end to end, like as a whole picture from business engineers, product team, technology team, things like that. So it actually gives you a full picture on how a digital product should be created and how you should pay attention to those details if you're involved in that environment. So actually my role is not really a product manager for now, but then I think it's really good for me for this book because I can actually understand what they need, understand how your teammates work, and then what are their perspective, like where they're going to and how you can assist your teammates to go where they're heading. It's so important if you're working in an environment where teamwork is so important. So if you're working in a small team and you are if you're an innovative person where you're interested to create products, digital products, etc. So I really recommend this book. It's all easy, simple concepts, but then they are very complete as a product management. The next book is called The Basics of Bitcoin and Blockchain. So if you heard about it, blockchain, Bitcoin, you might actually think that, okay, it's that thing again, it's cryptocurrency again. This book is, I think it actually exceed my expectation, because when I started this, I thought it's just about the very basics of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, like the decentralized, those kind of things. But then it actually surprises me because this book go into beyond introduction. So they actually tell you a lot of the practical concepts, not just about like decentralized those kind of theory, but then actually the details of the hashes, tokens, how blockchain technology can be adopted. They also got a lot of graphs, actually explain to you the concepts behind the whole blockchain technology instead of just sticking to Bitcoin. So I think this is really good for people who are started investing in should I call it investing, started putting their money into cryptocurrency and really interested in the whole like decentralized kind of concept, because I think it's not really something very simple that can be explained in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So if you're serious about it, I think this book is for you, where it's not going into the too deep of a technical discussion, but then it actually tells you the concept, the logical concept, and also practicality of how the technology is being adopted. So it's really for you if you just started getting into the market, but then at the same time you also want to know how it works. And then moving on to the next book is a advanced version of the previous book. It's called Token Economy. So I would say that is really like a textbook where is a bit going into a bit deeper in terms of like whole economy, how this works. So if we go back to the basics, right? So Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, actually you can think of it as part of money, although not everyone accepts Bitcoin or the other cryptocurrency as money. But then I think ultimately people are thinking about if it can be a medium of exchange, it can be classified as part of money. So token economy actually goes into more on a economy kind of concept. So for example, tokens like Bitcoin or tokens like NFT, non-fungible tokens, they're actually shaping our whole economy. You see like people buying and selling and people owning digital assets, things like that. So it's actually kind of a new concept of an economy. So the stuff that we learned before as part of economics may not be actually fully applicable, because for now it's kind of like a new kind of economy. It's called like Web3 token economy, where people actually invent their own tokens, and then it's being exchanged between two parties in the economy, in the market. So I think for token economy, it's really good for you if you want to understand a bit more than Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, but then actually how the whole as a whole the economy is going to work with all these tokens being around in market. So but I think you might need a bit more time on this one, because this book is a bit more technical. It's less like a leisure read. It's more like a textbook kind of book. But then I would recommend anyone who is interested in the economy kind of things really to read this book. Last one, but not least, but it's not really directly related to technology, but then I think it's a really good book if you are learning anything. So it's called Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World. I read that a couple of months ago. I think it's last year. For this one, I recently just started to read that again. I think the concept in this book is really good, where I think the main idea is about like you don't want to be too specialized in any of the domain area, where generalists in general, they are more easily to triumph in this world. So take an example. If you are a programmer, you don't want to be too specialized in one particular language, but then as a whole, how it works, like front end, back end, the full stack, and also the rising technology, because technology is just changing every day, and you might not want to be too specialized in one of the subjects. So I think it actually, this idea works and no matter which industry that you're in. And I think this book is really good because at the beginning, when I just started working, I thought specialization in a professional area is good. But afterwards, when I started to work in consulting, I realized that being able to learn quickly and have a broad area of knowledge is actually might be more beneficial for you. So I don't know, maybe you have a different thought, but then I think this book just opens up a new perspective for me. So no matter which industry that you're in, and no matter which area that you're learning, maybe technology, maybe something else, it might help you to have a brand new perspective on how you should proceed with your career, with your learning, and with your life as a whole. So really recommend this book for anyone. It's an easy read. The theory is pretty straightforward, but then it's really inspired you to think a bit more. Okay, so that's it for my sharing. I hope you enjoy my recommendation of books. If you have anything that you also want to recommend in terms of reading, technology, book club, things like that, welcome for you to share here. And I look forward to see you. Maybe I'm thinking doing that every quarter. So we'll see you again for this type of video in April. Thanks and bye.